My mother-in-law has informed me that my husband's ex-girlfriend will be coming to Christmas Eve dinner, and that I should just get used to the idea, because that's how it is. This girl has been an issue with our relationship since day one. A bit of backstory. A few years ago, before I met my husband, she dated him. Their relationship ended when she made some absolutely disgusting and potentially life-ruining allegations against him. He was arrested, beaten up. She had a history with one of the officers, so he made it personal. Taken to the police station, had charges held against him, and was interrogated. He hadn't done anything that she had said he had, so of course, he eventually managed to get everything dropped. Shortly after we got together, she then started DMing me on Facebook, trying to drive a wedge between us to split us up. When she was blocked, I received messages from random people for months bad-mouthing my husband. Fast forward 2 years, and we find out that his parents have been allowing her to come to the property and help them with their horses. And we find out she has been playing the sympathy card to work her way into the family. I then tried to play nice and at least tolerate having her around for the sake of peace in the family, even though I know how much it gets under my husband's skin that she is around. I finally gave up being nice when she flat out ignored me at the local show when I was preparing the horses to be led out. It has now been 5 years since this all started. She is now living on the in-laws' property and makes herself at home in the main farmhouse, while she has her own fully self-contained unit that she pays to rent. Year before last Christmas, I was the bad guy because I made it quite apparent that I did not believe she belonged at the family dinner table on Christmas Eve or at presents opening the next morning. Am I the a-hole for not being nice about this girl being present in our lives? End note. My brother and sister-in-law also have issues with this girl being around, as she tried to get my brother-in-law first and ducked with his head before she went after my husband. But bringing up any of this with the parents brings the family into an enormous nuclear fight. Apparently, I'm trying to tear the family apart because I don't want to stand for her being included in what is supposed to be a family occasion. Edit. We, husband and I, have on many occasions made our stance on having her around very clear, and every time it ends with us getting either kicked off the property or told that they can be friends with whoever they want. The argument over this Christmas was had between my husband and myself, and he made it clear that if we did bring it up or choose to stay away, quote, if we stop her from seeing her grandson at Christmas, she will cut us off from the family. He has always stood against his parents and defended me when needed, so it's no shortfall on his side. He has just given up fighting them over it because he doesn't want to lose his parents. Edit number 2. If I say I want to spend Christmas away from here, I'm apparently keeping the grandchild away from his grandma and am using that as a weapon against her, and she will cut us off from the family. When it has nothing to do with our son. I just don't want my family to be around lying homewreckers. This whole situation is exhausting, and I've voiced so many times how over it I am. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do until the issue resolves itself. I'm just hoping she craps the bed a few too many times, metaphorically speaking, and ends up getting kicked out. Not the a-hole. What the hell? Have Christmas Eve with your brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and spare everyone the issue of having to deal with her. This is such a simple solution. If you don't go, and your husband doesn't go, this will require your husband having a pair of balls, which, based on how far this has gotten, he may not. Not the a-hole. Edit number 3. Inviting the in-laws to ours is difficult because we live over an hour away and don't have anywhere for them to stay at our house. The farmhouse is big, and people that travel can stay. That's why everything is generally held there. I've reached the point where I'm just going to have to be present, silent, and retire to our room with our kids as soon as possible. I don't want our toddler around the ex. She doesn't deserve that privilege. The whole situation just sucks. So I, 27 male, have a great relationship with my mom. She's been a fantastic mother my whole life, up until this incident. She's become best friends with my ex-girlfriend, April, 26 female, and it's pissing me off. They hang out together at my mom's house. They go out to eat, buy gifts for each other. They go shopping, etc. They aren't like besties or anything, but remain in constant contact. They have brought me up as a conversation topic between them multiple times. For backstory, April and I dated for 3 years and broke up over a year ago. They were always very close whenever we dated and have just kept going like nothing has changed. I've told my mom and my ex to stop being friends multiple times over the past year, or at least don't include me in their topics they discuss. My mom's response is that I'm her kid and don't get to tell her who she is friends with. My ex's response is similar, that we aren't together and I don't get to comment on her relationships. They both say I'm overreacting, and they are adults who get to decide who to be close to, and that obviously I'll come up in their conversations because I'm important in both their lives. I've quit telling my mom things about my life for fear that it will get back to April. My mom has told her how my dates with other people have gone and who I'm seeing. April will reach out to wish me luck on dates and ask me how my relationships are going. I find the whole thing odd. April is a great person, someone I still have mixed feelings for, but not someone I want to date at this moment. I don't want to completely go nuclear on her, but I also hate her being friends with my mother. I feel like they don't respect my space, and I've expressed as much, just to be told to get over it. My mother is fond of April, but she's never told me to get back with her. My mom hasn't liked any girl I've brought around since my breakup, and I feel like this is partially due to April. April still gets me presents, cooks things for me, my mom, and is very supportive of my life. This has caused some girls I've dated to be uncomfortable and think that my family, isn't over my ex. I try to explain that I am, but I can't control my mother. For a fair verdict, I broke up with April because she didn't seem to be going anywhere in life. She didn't have a career, didn't know about kids, and just didn't have a lot of plans. We broke up, and she changed a bunch. Lost weight, went to a trade school and got a new job. After her glow-up, she wanted to get back together, claiming our breakup was what caused her to change, and wanted to give us a better chance now that she was in a better mental space. But I've enjoyed dating other people, and don't want to get back together. I gave my mom an ultimatum to either cease the constant contact with my ex, as it is getting uncomfortable for me, or she will be seeing less of me until I'm married. Am I the a-hole? Everyone sucks here. Your mom and April are right. You have no right to tell them who to be friends with. They were friends for 3 years, and their relationship didn't change because you decided that yours and April should. It isn't like you broke up because April did something bad to you, so there is no reason your mother should feel differently about her friend. That being said, your mom should not be telling April so much about you. It is entirely fair of you to ask her to keep things in confidence, and the fact that she doesn't also puts her in the wrong here. In April's case, I'm not going to call her an a-hole. She clearly still cares about you, but she probably needs some distance from you. April is a great person, someone I still have mixed feelings for, but not someone I want to date at this moment. I wonder if she's picking up on the fact that you apparently want to keep her as an option, and I don't think that is fair of you. I think for both of your sakes, you need to be the one to enforce some distance between the two of you. You blame her for making dates uncomfortable because they don't think you're over her. But honestly, from this post, I don't think you're over her either. This reads like you're enjoying playing the field and keeping her as a backup option for the future. This is a bit complicated, but to start out, my family has so many entitled people that I still don't know how they all get along. Though the top of the entitled pile is my one aunt, whom took the title of head of the family after my grandmother died, not her mother. Simply put, in my family, the next head of family is chosen by the previous one and groomed to become head of the family. My grandmother had selected me, but died while I was an infant. So the aunts had an entitled power battle, and the biggest EA came out on top and claimed she was the head of the family. Through the years, entitled aunt has selected 3 people she liked to become head of the family. 2 of her own kids and my sister. She grooms them and they all become spoiled rotten. While she would shoot dirty looks at the people pleaser and hides under the table, since large crowds are scary little old me. However, her 2 children refused to be head of the family. They were far too busy. And my sister decided to move a few states away to get spoiled by our father. So, without someone to groom into the next head of family, she decided to look around for a new one. Well, no one wanted to. So, she showed up one day and dragged me off. For a year, she tried to groom me into a new person. She would toss out my books, take away anything I used to keep myself shaded. I burn easily. And remove things that were solo things to do. She dragged me alone to go shopping, always getting into those EP fights with the people who worked at the shops while I apologized for her behavior. She would drag me to parties, which she would get upset since I do not enjoy parties. She would give me presents, all of which were her hand-me-downs, like the half-used perfume bottles, which I told her before I couldn't be around since I was allergic. Pretty much, she was trying to turn me into one of those entitled rich snobs, farthest from what I was. This all came to a head at a restaurant one day. She ordered some weird noodle dish, while I ordered a salad. I am vegetarian, not by choice. She was playing with her food, something she does when she wants to get into an entitled person battle and seems to be when she is picking her tactics. Entitled aunt, you shouldn't be eating that. Me, I asked, surprised when the sight of being used to this. What? Oh, what's wrong with me having salad? Entitled Aunt, it isn't good for you. Salad makes you weak. Me, it is the only thing on the menu that doesn't have seafood in it, and you know I am allergic to seafood. Entitled Aunt, that is a made-up allergy, like your perfume and your mint allergies. Me, oh, you remember them. That is good. But whatever you say, just don't try to slip me seafood again. Or do you really want people questioning you again? Entitled Aunt fluffs herself up. Your sister likes seafood. You should be more like her. Me, I am not her. I can't eat seafood. I don't like loud places. I don't like crowds. I don't like fashion or any of that stuff. I only do that stuff with you because I want to spend time with you. After all, don't you always say family is everything and cherish them when you can? Entitled Aunt, you didn't cherish my last present. Me, I told you I was allergic. Entitled Aunt, you always took the presents I gave you, always said you loved them. Me, I was being nice. I was raised to appreciate any present, even if you hate them because a person put a lot of effort and went out looking for something for you. Entitled Aunt huffs, you should have an entitled phase. My daughters and your sister had one, where they went through each present and were not pleased and tossed them all in the trash. Me, yeah, that is not going to happen. That is rude and wasteful. Looks up to see entitled Aunt looking annoyed. Anything else wrong with me? I knew what she wanted to talk to me about. Entitled Aunt, you know that you were chosen to be the next head of family. Me, yes, it is mentioned in several things grandmother left. Why do you mention this? Entitled Aunt, you need to be more suitable to become the next head of the family. Marry a rich man. I can introduce you to some. Me, yeah, no, not gonna happen. Not interested. It would be a waste of time. Next. Entitled Aunt, you need to be more like your sisters and my daughters. Me, nope, not gonna happen. Entitled Aunt, yes you will. She put some of the shrimp from her plate on my salad. Me, I pushed the salad away, not touching it due to the shrimp. Nope. Entitled Aunt, you should have been raised by me. Then you would be right. Me, I like myself. I think Mom did well. Entitled Aunt, you have no drive. Me, really now? Entitled Aunt, are you even a person? Me, going by how you treat me, no, I am a puppet. But truthfully, I am a person, and I really am sick of you acting like you are so entitled with everything in my life. You are only interested in me since your daughters and my sister not only rejected you, but moved far away. You only started to spend time with me because no one else would. That and you wanted dirt, which I do not have on other members of the family whom, like you, only became interested in me after my sister left. Do you even know me? Entitled Aunt looked at me darkly. Is that a challenge? Me, smirking. Maybe. Let's see. Can you name one thing that I like? Entitled Aunt glared at me and listed her favorite things, to which I said no each time. She then stood up. Entitled Aunt, you lying little cow. I'm done. She got up and left and then drove off. I looked down. She had just ditched me in the middle of town and left me with a rather huge bill since she ordered an expensive meal. I got up and talked to the waiter. I asked for help getting home as my aunt just ditched me. They were nice. I paid the bill and they got me a taxi home. By the time I got home, my answering machine was filled with messages from entitled Aunt and other members of the family, each saying how disgusting and horrible I was. One was my sister, asking what I had done. I stood there, marveling at how fast she spread word about me. I deleted each message and tried to call entitled Aunt. Each time she answered, she would cuss me out and then hang up. I would get phone calls from the family saying I was harassing and A-ing my entitled aunt. Mind you, I never got more than hi out in the phone calls to her. After a while, I got a message from entitled Aunt. It was on my answering machine since I was at my college class at that time. You are no longer welcome in the family. We want nothing to do with you. We should have done this long ago, but I gave you a chance. You truly are worthless. And with that, the whole family on her side stopped acknowledging I exist. My sister wondered what happened because of the fact whenever I am brought up, everyone says I don't exist. To which I tell her, is it really that different from when we were kids? I don't mind being disowned. I don't have to deal with her or the entitled part of the family anymore. Though this did upset my grandfather, whom had wanted me to become the head of the family like his wife wanted. There was one funny note to this. Whenever she or anyone from that side of the family see me at a store, they will exit quickly the store and blacklist it so no one from the family will ever run into me. I know this since I have caught them talking about it as I come out of the store, which they have straight run out of like chickens. I am just amused by how much effort they put into things like this. How old are you? If you're an adult, cutting ties with them is probably for the best, for your mental health's sake and for your emotional sake. Also, if they're blacklisting any place that you visit, you should definitely 100% visit every favorite shop or restaurant that your family goes to. Watch as they slowly isolate themselves from the things they love out of spite to avoid you. Yes, I am an adult. This only happened about 7 years ago. I am not spiteful. However, they do have a few of their favorite places to go blacklisted, since I have been spotted in them by family members since I would be shopping for something for a friend or family member, other side of the family, who also likes the same stuff as them.